I should have known the moment I stepped into the venue. Everything about my sister Madison's wedding screamed perfect. White roses, gold arches, a string quartet playing something soft and expensive. Everyone had a seat card with elegant cursive calligraphy, everyone except me. When the usher looked confused and said, "You're actually seated outside," I laughed because I thought it was a joke. But it wasn't. He led me past the glamorous ballroom, past the cocktail lounge, past the overflow tent, and then finally stopped near the service exit. There it was, a folding chair. Next to 2 industrial trash cans. My name was handwritten on a crooked sticky note, Ava. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. I kept thinking she wouldn't, not on her wedding day. But then Madison walked by with her bridesmaids, glittering like a magazine cover. She paused, saw me staring at my seat, and smirked. "Guess you don't count," she said sweetly, loud enough for her entourage to giggle. The humiliation burned through me. The memories of years of her mocking, belittling, and overshadowing me crashed down. I had promised myself I wouldn't let her ruin another milestone. I had come to make peace. To be supportive. To finally be the bigger person. But she made sure I felt smaller than trash. So I did the only thing I had left. I picked up the wedding gift, an envelope sealed with a gold sticker, and I walked away. No shouting. No scene. Just silence. 5 minutes later, I was already in my car when I heard it, screaming. The kind of scream that slices through music, laughter, and celebration. Madison's scream didn't stop driving. Madison always assumed revenge was loud. She expected broken glasses, dramatic confrontations, and public embarrassment. She never understood that the quietest revenge is the sharpest. Inside that pretty gold-sealed envelope wasn't money. It wasn't a heartfelt letter. It was the legal truth she had spent a year trying to hide. 3 months earlier, while helping my mother sort paperwork, I accidentally discovered something huge. Madison had forged our late grandmother's signature on the inheritance documents. Grandma had left half her estate to me. But Madison, terrified of sharing, changed the paperwork so everything went to her. I didn't confront her. I didn't fight. I hired a lawyer, and on the morning of her wedding, the wedding she spent $180,000 of her inheritance on, my lawyer finalized everything. The investigation. The charges. The financial freeze. All it needed was her signature acknowledging she had received the notice. So I placed the legal envelope, containing the certified fraud report and court summons, inside the wedding gift box with a silver bow. When she opened it in front of her bridesmaids, she must have expected something glamorous. But instead, she found the consequences she never imagined would catch up on her wedding day. That scream, it wasn't heartbreak. It was panicked. By the time she ran out of the venue looking for me, I was already halfway home. She had spent every dollar of the estate, and the bank had frozen her accounts, mid-wedding. But that wasn't even the worst part. She wasn't only losing the money, she was facing charges. Madison's perfect wedding collapsed faster than the champagne tower. Guests whispered. Bridesmaids scattered. Her groom looked like he wanted to melt into the floor. Within minutes, the wedding planner announced a pause while Madison hyperventilated behind the floral arch. I wasn't there, thank God, but I heard the rest from Aunt Denise, who called me breathless. "Avier. Police are here. For Madison. She's screaming your name." The officers weren't there to arrest her on the spot. They were there to deliver a notice to appear in court. But Madison, dramatic as ever, made the scene unforgettable. She shouted that I sabotaged her wedding. That I was jealous. That I couldn't stand to see her happy. But as my lawyer later told me, fraud doesn't care about feelings. She stole tens of thousands that belonged to me. She thought she'd buried the evidence. She thought I'd never fight back. And she thought seating me next to trash cans would be the final insult. What she didn't know was that walking out wasn't a surrender. It was the last step of a plan months in the making. 2 weeks later, we met in court. Gone was the glowing bride. She looked small, tired, even fragile. When the judge asked her why she forged a legal document, Madison broke down into tears, real ones. For once, the court ruled in my favor. Her accounts remained seized. She owed restitution, and she had to publicly admit guilt. Walking out of the courthouse, sun warm on my face, I realized something. Revenge wasn't about destroying her. It was about reclaiming myself. The sister who didn't count suddenly mattered more than anyone in that courtroom. Madison avoided jail time, but her reputation, her pride, and her illusion of perfection shattered. And the wedding? People still whisper about the bride who got served instead of getting gifts. As for me, I finally used the inheritance Grandma meant for me, not for luxury, not for pettiness, but to start a small business I had dreamed of for years, business that succeeded. A life that grew. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't watching someone fall, it's rising so high they can't reach you, even from their perfect little wedding.